Hey guys, today we have another jacket battle, this time between the Arc'teryx Cerium LT versus the North Face Summit L3 Down Hoodie. That's next. Welcome to Backcountry Renegade. I'm Jeff. This channel is all about hiking, backpacking, and overlanding, and all the gear in between. And if you're into those things too, consider subscribing. Today we're looking at two jackets that are relatively good for the fall and also winter backpacking and hiking season. These are also good for climbing and all other things out in the backcountry, such as skiing and snowboarding and using it as a mid layer underneath the shell. We have the Arc'teryx Cerium LT and the North Face Summit L3 Down Hoodie. Both these jackets are colder weather jackets to use when the temperature starts to drop from the summer backpacking more into the fall and winter backpacking. The Cerium LT is a jacket that really is popular in Arc'teryx. It has an excellent fit. It's made of premium 850 down, but it also has synthetic insulation in strategic areas that are prone to get wet. The North Face Summit Down Hoodie is another great jacket that is compressible, lightweight, but it really packs a punch as far as the warmth. Excellent warmth to weight ratio. It is more of a heavier mid-weight kind of jacket, but it really keeps you warm. So let's check them out in a bit more detail. The Cerium LT by Arc'teryx has been one of the most popular jackets out there for a lightweight insulated layer made of down insulation. This is a good layer for all sorts of different activities. It also is a great piece for layering as well. It comes in different sizes and also colors as well. It does provide a nice balance of warmth to weight ratio, and it can come in a hood or a non-hooded version. The one you see here is a hooded version, and it is in a size small. It sells new for $379 for the hooded version, about $30, $40 cheaper for the non-hooded version. The North Face Summit Down L3 hoodie is another very popular choice when it comes to staying warm in the backcountry. This is a jacket that is actually more considered a mid-weight layer. So it's not exactly ultralight or light, but it's mid-weight considering the amount of insulation that it does have. So it's a very good warm jacket. This is a great jacket to use in cold conditions, and you can even use it in layering. This is actually one of my mountaineering pieces as a layer. That's what the L3 stands for. It's the layer 3 in the layers there that you use for mountaineering and climbing. As the temperature begins to decrease, this North Face Summit L3 Down Hoodie is a great jacket to consider because it is lightweight, but it does really keep you warm at a really good way. Considering how warm this jacket is, it does also provide a good warmth to weight ratio. This jacket sells new for $375. The North Face Summit Down Hoodie also comes in various colors, and they also come in a different variations as well. This one is the Summit Series 1, which actually features the 2017 Antarctica Special Edition, but they have different colors and variations each season of this jacket. Looking at these two jackets, there are a lot of similarities to consider between the two. Both of them are made of down insulation. They also have a really good shell material that is lightweight, but also has DWR finish. Both these jackets are highly compressible. They can also be used as a standalone piece, but also as a mid layer underneath the shell. Both these jackets have excellent waterproof DWR finish on the outside of the shell, and they are windproof to an extent. Let's consider some of the differences now, beginning with the shell fabric. The shell of the Cerium LT features an Arauto 10 denier nylon shell fabric. It is lightweight, but it does have good durability. It's also wind resistant to an extent, and the 10 denier does provide a good balance of durability and lightweightness as well. It has a DWR finish on the outside coating, so it can repel water and rain to an extent. It is super lightweight material, but it is something to consider that it's not completely waterproof. The North Face Summit Down Hoodie also features a 10 by 10 denier, which is a Pertex Quantum 100% nylon ripstop. So again, a good balance between durability and weight. So it will be able to be windproof to an extent. It also can repel water to an extent with the DWR finish that is on it. Between the two shell fabrics, they are very similar, both 10 denier, and 10 denier can be kind of delicate at times, but I think it's an excellent balance between weight and durability. Let's consider the insulation. The insulation of the Cerium LT actually is 850 fill power down. So it's premium down that produces a really good high loft at low weight. They actually are using 3.6 ounces of down insulation in here of that 850 power fill down. This also features what they call down composite mapping, and it's strategically placing down in areas that tend to be cold pretty easily, but also in other places such as the shoulders and underneath the arms. They actually have Core-Loft compact insulation, which is a synthetic insulation, and the reason they do that is because synthetic insulation will maintain its loft and warmth a whole lot easier when it gets wet compared to down. So to combat where areas are getting wet more, they actually put the synthetic insulation there. So that composite mapping there. It's actually 80 to 100 grams of this Core-Loft synthetic insulation. They have some in the hood, underneath the arms, shoulders, and in various places where it tends to get a little bit more wet, like at the bottom of the sleeves here as well. So pretty nice kind of hybrid kind of insulation there. The North Face Down Hoodie actually features 800 Fill Pro down. Now, this is a down that is slightly less quality because it's 800 fill power compared to 850 fill power with the Cerium has, but they pack it with down. So North Face doesn't actually tell us exactly how much down is in here, but I tend to get a good feeling it's definitely more than 3.6 ounces like the Cerium has. And the reason is because all the down baffles are packed. This is a very lofty jacket, and that's because they put plenty of down, and it's actually the warmer jacket, and I think it's because of that as well. Now, this Pro down that North Face uses is actually coated with a hydrophobic kind of material. So it makes the down hydrophobic, so it can actually maintain its loft even if it gets wet to a certain extent. That doesn't mean it's completely waterproof, but it does maintain its loft a whole lot better than untreated down. The Cerium LT, the down that they use, though it's 850, is untreated. So if that does get wet, the down in the Cerium LT will lose its loft, and it will need to dry in order to regain its loft and keep you warm. Let's consider the weight. The weight of the Cerium LT is advertised as being 305 grams, or that's 10.8 ounces even with a hood. Now, according to my own testing, they tend to be a little bit over 11 ounces on my scale here. Now, that's still a really good lightweight option. Now, the weight of the Down Hoodie here from North Face is actually 480 grams, or 16.93 ounces. Again, this is going to be more of a midweight kind of piece, where this one is more of a lightweight, and as a result, this one is definitely going to be warmer as well. So let's consider and talk about the warmth. The warmth of the Cerium LT for me actually felt cold around 28 degrees while I was standing still, and while moving closer to 23 degrees. So it is pretty warm, and that's just with wearing a short underneath. Now, if I was layered, that could even go down a bit more as well. Now, the North Face Down Hoodie, I started to feel cold around 26 degrees standing still, and closer to 20 degrees while I was on the move. This is a very warm jacket, and it's because they put a lot more down insulation inside this jacket, and so you can definitely feel the warmth of the North Face Down Hoodie. So this is an excellent piece when you're looking at winter and colder environments. So something to consider there. Again, too, if I was layered with the North Face, I can go down even lower, probably into the teens, and feel pretty comfortable. Now let's talk about the baffles here. The quilting pattern, or the baffles, as you can see, they both feature the down insulation, and so they do have down baffles, as you can see. Now, down baffles are good because they keep the down from flowing down into the jacket. They keep them in one location within the down baffles, and the North Face does an excellent job with this. I haven't experienced any down leakage with the North Face baffles, but I did happen to find a lot of down leakage through some of the seams with the Cerium LT. And you can actually see one right here. I don't want to pull it because I don't want to pull out down insulation, but you can definitely experience, especially with a down jacket, down coming out through the seams, and it tends to happen a bit more through the Cerium LT than the North Face Down Hoodie. Now let's consider the pockets. The Cerium LT actually has two pockets here in the front, and they're very just basic pockets that you see here. They're raised slightly higher so that you can be able to wear a hip belt or a harness as well, but they are a bit smaller kind of pockets here, as you can see. So nothing to write home about, anything that's really big with the pockets. But if we open it up and look on the inside, you can see you do have one zipper pocket on the inside. The zipper pocket does have one of the little carry cases for this. So the thing, because of these pockets are smaller, the Cerium LT isn't going to compress into its front pocket like the North Face will. So the pockets are a bit smaller, so it does have its own little case, and it's inside the front zipper pocket on the inside there. So Cerium LT features 3 pockets. It's very minimalistic, very basic there, but it is sufficient. The nice thing about the pockets is your hands are behind the down insulation, but when your hands are in the pockets inside of them, there's no insulation behind it as well. It's only in the front. So something just to consider with that. Now compare that to the North Face Down Hoodie. We can see the pockets on the front are actually raised significantly higher than the Cerium LT. And the reason is so you can have more room while you're wearing a hip belt or a harness, and you can still put your hands in there. So you can see that with this, they are a little bit longer or bigger pockets as a result as well. It does only have the 2 front pockets here. Again, this is more of a minimalistic special series here, the Summit series. And as you open it and look on the inside, you can see that there are no additional pockets on this one. This is one of the limited edition ones. Now, if you did get the heavier version, they do have pockets on the inside as well. And that does add to the weight. The more zippers, the more material you have for pockets, that is something to consider. Now, as you can see here, when you do put your hands in the pocket, you do have down insulation protecting it, keeping your hands warm, and not so much insulation on the inside as well. Very similar to the Cerium LT. All right, so let's consider the cuffs here. As you can see, the North Face does have some nice elastic cuffs here. They can stretch and go over a glove, or you can even put the glove over the sleeve here. But comparing that to the Cerium LT, you do have a little bit of elastic on the inside there. And that's just enough to make the air not go through, any cold air go through, so it cuts that off and keeps your arms and hands nice and warm. But you do have significant more elasticity on the cuffs of the North Face Down Hoodie compared to the Cerium LT. Let's consider the hem draw cords. If we look at the inside of the jacket of the Cerium LT, you do have these 2 cinch cords here that you can pull. And as a result, you would tighten the brim of the jacket on the bottom for the Cerium LT. And to go ahead and reset that, you would just pull it back again, and it would do it that way. So you do have 2 cinch cords, and that does a good job to be able to maintain the closeness of the waist, so air doesn't get underneath and present cold drafts. Now compare that to the inside of the Down Hoodie. You don't see anything on the outside, and the reason is because those cords are actually inside the pockets. So you pull these from the pockets and it will tighten the cinch here as well. Now, if you have some of the newer models of that, one of the areas they look to save weight, while they added more pockets, they actually did away with the cinch cord on the bottom here. Now, again, this one being the special Summit Series Antarctica series, they do have that here as a result. And so you can tighten around the brim. So if you're going out mountaineering or anything like that, you're not going to get any cold air coming underneath the jacket. So that is something cool that I like about this specific jacket as well. You do have those cinch cords around the waist there. Now let's talk about the weather resistance. Both these jackets do have the DWR finish on the shell coating here. And that does a sufficient job of repelling the rain, but it's not completely waterproof. So if you do get a heavy downpour, you do need to consider the insulation that you have. The Cerium LT just has the basic insulation that's 850 untreated down, so it will get wet. So you will want to protect this over time, because if it does get wet, it will lose its loft and you won't be able to keep you warm. You'll have to wait for it to dry. And so I like the extra protection that the North Face Down Hoodie has. It does have the DWR finish on the shell as well, but it's the treated down. So it's the hydrophobic down to where it can still maintain its loft if it gets wet to an extent. Now, if you're in a downpour, I would recommend putting a shell over both these jackets to protect them. However, you do have that extra measure of protection here with that treated down with the North Face Down Hoodie compared to the untreated down with the Cerium LT. Both the fabrics are the tin denier fabric, so they both are going to be able to have a durability that's going to block wind to an extent. So something to keep in mind with that. As far as the fit, the Cerium LT has the far superior fit. It is a trim fit, and that fits me just perfectly. I do really enjoy the fit of the Cerium LT. It's not for everybody, so if you are maybe a little bit more bulky, bigger shoulders, or just a bigger person overall, the Cerium LT probably isn't gonna fit. The Down Hoodie though, on the other hand, really is a little bit bigger. It allows a little bit extra room so you can layer underneath. Now you can still layer with the Cerium LT to an extent, but you need to be either athletic or trim fit. This really isn't super trim fitting with the Down Hoodie, but it is to an extent. The Cerium LT is going to fit far better for someone like me, but I do like the fit of the Down Hoodie for what it is. If I want to layer underneath, there's sufficient room in here, and I don't feel like it's tight or anything around that, where you can start to feel that a little bit with the Cerium LT. The fit of the Down Hoodie also is a little bit longer than the Cerium LT. The Cerium LT is like it kind of cuts off a little bit early in the front there, and you do actually have a significant more room there with the Down Hoodie, and it, as a result, kind of keeps your nether regions a little bit warmer than normal than you would with the Cerium LT. And so something to keep in mind with that as well. Let's talk about the hoods. Both these jackets have what we would call scuba hoods or weather hoods here. And the Cerium LT is sufficient. Now it does have this elastic brim around to maintain the structure. You also have a little cinch cord in the back to tighten it up. Now this is a hood that really isn't as helmet compatible. It can go over a helmet, but it's a bit tight when you do that. It really restricts movement. It's probably meant to go so more underneath the helmet. You'll have more turns and dexterity when you are wearing it that way. Now the North Face, on the other hand, that one actually has a helmet compatible hood. It can go completely over the helmet here, and it is a significant bigger hood as well than the Cerium LT. You do have your cinch cord here in the back as well, and you do have an elastic here that's really helping the brim of the structure. You do have down throughout the hood on the North Face Down Hoodie. On the hoodie for the Cerium LT, you do have kind of a mix of down insulation, but also some synthetic insulation as well there. So something just to keep in mind, both have good hoods. As far as helmet compatibility, the North Face Down Hoodie is gonna be more the helmet compatible hood, where the Cerium LT is gonna be a little bit less of a bulkier hood. So something to keep in mind with that. If you are more into mountaineering, more into climbing, wearing a helmet, putting a hood over that, the Down Hoodie would probably be the better hood for that. All right, so let's talk about the zippers. Both these jackets have pretty dependable zippers. They're both the YKK zippers that they use. Now the Cerium LT uses a little bit smaller zippers here, and they tend to be a bit more fragile. So something just to keep in mind. You want to be very careful and delicate with these zippers compared to the North Face. They are a lot more durable zipper. They're a bigger zipper as well, which does add a little bit to that weight there, but you can just see the durability of this zipper is much higher than the durability of the Cerium LT, but something that you do get in when you're thinking of going lightweight like the Cerium LT. Let's talk about the style. The style of the Cerium LT I really like. This is something I can wear around town. This is something that I can feel I can wear as a mid layer underneath a shell. I can use it as a standalone piece while hiking or backpacking. It is a very stylish jacket. The red here I like as well. And the nice thing is, because of that red color, you're not going to see through this denier or anything very easily to see the insulation in between. Now, the style for the North Face Down Hoodie is a bit bulkier. It's a bit looser as well. But the yellow is a nice color. It's something that I'd enjoy wearing out in the backcountry if I want to be spotted, things like that. It's probably not the most stylish to wear around town or anything. And you can see even with some of this areas, the down here, you can actually see some of the through the shell of this material here. Not that it's a thin denier, but I think it's the yellow color that kind of makes it stand out a bit more. They do have this in various other colors such as red, black, but the yellow I did like because it does match my mountaineering set that I have, and we'll have that in another video sometime. But that is something to consider. It's not the most stylish jacket to wear around town, but it is sufficient for what it is. All right, well, let's talk about compressibility. As I mentioned earlier, on the inside of the jacket of the Cerium LT in the inner zipper pocket, you do have a little sleeve here that you can compress the jacket into. Now, I'm not a huge fan of this, and the reason is because you can lose this piece if you disconnect it. Now, it can be lost very easily or misplaced, but the jacket does compress nicely in here. But I would have preferred it to compress into its front jacket pocket. It would be just much more convenient and maybe save some weight a little bit. But I thought they went with this in an effort to save weight so they can have smaller zipper pockets. And so we're just going to go ahead and compress this and see how that goes. So we'll compress this down and then put it into that inner pocket here in this sleeve. So we'll just compare that. All right, so here's the Cerium LT compressed into that little sleeve there. You do have some elastic here that you can drawstring that you can go ahead and cinch it down and tighten it. You do also have a little tab here that you can clip it onto a carabiner. But as you do compress this, it's not the most compressible. And the reason is because it is kind of mixed with that regular down insulation, but also synthetic insulation. And synthetic insulation is not the most compressible, especially what they use in this. So let's go ahead and compress the down hoodie. And you can see this compresses into its front left pocket. So we're gonna go ahead and unzip it first, and then go ahead and compress it into that pocket there. All right, so compresses into that front zipper pocket. You have this extra zipper here that you can go ahead and put that in and zip it up and close it. Now it is a little bit bigger as well. And you do have this little cord here, which is, like I said, in the inner pocket here that does maintain the cinch on the waist. And if you don't close it, you might have it extended like this. You do have a little clip here for a carabiner, and you do have that zipper there as well. But just to compare the size here, you do have significantly more insulation in the down hoodie. It is going to be your warmer jacket. And as a result, you can see it is a little bit bigger when it's all compressed. So about the size of maybe a water bottle or so for the North Face down hoodie. Overall, they are very similar in how they compress. All right, so concluding thoughts. As I mentioned earlier, both these jackets do an excellent job when the temperatures begin to drop more into the fall, more into the winter kind of backpacking season. If you're using these for mountaineering, using these as a layer piece, these are excellent pieces to use. The Arc'teryx Cerium LT has been a pretty nice jacket. I love the style, I love the lightweightness, and I also really love the fit. It has an excellent fit, but the down hoodie is an excellent warm layer piece. It really packs a punch to the warmth. It is a warmer piece than this. So if I had to choose between these two, I'm gonna have to go with the North Face Summit L3 down hoodie, and it's because the pros outweigh the cons. Let's consider the first pro. The first pro, as I mentioned earlier, this is a warmer jacket than the Cerium LT. While it does weigh a tad more, it does so because it's packed with more down insulation. Another pro about it is that it's also filled with down insulation that is hydrophobic down. So if the down happens to get wet, it's going to maintain its loft, as opposed to Cerium LT, which will actually lose its loft when it gets wet if the down, because the down is untreated. Another pro about the Summit L3 down hoodie is the hood. If you are into climbing and if you're going to be wearing a helmet, this hood is a far better hood than the Cerium LT. While I love the Cerium LT hood as far as just wearing around town or wearing without a helmet, this one is a bit more practical applications for the backcountry because you're often going to be wearing hoods when you're climbing. For me personally, this is my mountaineering piece when I'm up using this for layers, climbing Rainier or Baker or anything like that. This is the piece that I use for that, and it's because the hood is this helmet compatible hood that's far superior than the Cerium LT hood. Another pro about the North Face Summit L3 down hoodie is the length. It is a little bit longer length here, so it maintains the warmth down below, where the Cerium LT, the cut is a lot higher. And that's because the harness is able to go underneath that area, where the North Face actually builds it for the harness to go above this area to still keep you warm down below. But you still have plenty of room to put your hands in your pockets so that you can still access those pockets while you're wearing a hip belt or while you're wearing a climbing harness. Another pro about the North Face Summit L3 down hoodie is it is a tad baggier, which allows you to layer. So if you're going to use this as a layering piece, you have sufficient room underneath to layer where you're not going to feel as compact and tight when you are layering as you would with the Cerium LT. Another pro about the North Face down hoodie are the articulated arms. They're a little bit extra material here, so when you reach up, you don't have the sleeve that's going to be rolling up on you. And so that's a nice feature. This is really a technical piece. It's great for the backcountry. It's great for mountaineering and things like that. So this is an excellent piece because of a lot of these pros. Now let's consider the con. The first con about the North Face L3 down hoodie is it is a heavier piece than the Cerium LT. And that's something to keep in mind. And the reason it is heavier is because it's using a lot more insulation than the Cerium LT. Another con is that it's slightly less higher quality down than the Cerium LT. The Cerium LT is going to use 850 down, but the North Face is going to use 800 fill power down. The cool thing though is the North Face actually has it hydrophobic down, where the Cerium LT is untreated down, so it will lose its loft when it gets wet. So what did you think of these two jackets? Who won the jacket battle for you? Was it the Cerium LT by Arc'teryx or the North Face Summit L3 down hoodie? Leave me a comment in the comments section. Let me know your thoughts. If you like what you saw, make sure to also give me a thumbs up. Also subscribe for more jacket battle content like this. And as always, thanks for watching.